works fast to relieve acidity, trust Better Cool. Enjoy life. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
It is the 31st of October 2019, a day that ends this particular month. My name is Patricia, Lukoma, and in a short while we will be joined by Mogalu Mohammed. It's exactly 8 o'clock, and News Tonight is here to bring you details of what's making headlines. Let's first look at the top stories. In our top stories tonight, Kadaga gives Education Committee 13 days to investigate Makerere University situation. PLE examination malpractice is reported. On the international scene, U.S. military publishes the first footage of the raid in northern Syria. And in sports, KCCA FC in a must-win tie this weekend. Later on in this bulletin, I will be joined on set by a weather analyst, none other than Nsubuga Yusuf, to discuss the current situation about the weather within the country. First, though, as we delve into the Presidential Press Unit, President Museveni has met music promoter and entrepreneur Olim Charles, aka Sipapa, at State House in Entebbe. The president cordially welcomed him and urged youth in the country to vote leaders who would genuinely listen to their concerns and create lasting solutions. He reiterated that youth should make it priority to follow up on the government funds that are disbursed to districts and sub-countries throughout the country and ensure that those funds are utilized. Now, heavy rains affecting most parts of the country have disrupted preparations for this year's primary leaving examinations, with most schools in these affected districts like Bulambuli being relocated. Addressing the media at Ntinda UNEB officers, Executive Secretary Dan Nokrach Odongo said that these increased fuel costs because those transporting examination materials will have to use longer routes.
Uganda National Examinations Board will conduct this year's primary leaving examinations that start Monday, November 4th. This year have been registered to sit examinations from 13,475 centres, an increase in candidature of 3.6% compared to 2018. The girls account for 51.7% compared to boys at 48.3%. Special needs candidates are 1,259, while inmates from Luzira prison are 60. Provide extra funds to cater for expenses that come with relocation of schools due to heavy rains.
These like Bulambuli have already moved quite a number of schools from their original location to other parts of the district. And these districts where candidates have been relocated will most likely need assistance in the form of food items, temporary shelter, probably scholastic materials, medical and sanitary facilities for the candidates, and probably some protective gear in the form of raincoats.
Meanwhile, police have arrested individuals selling alleged fake UNEB set PLE examinations.
Schools that the fraudsters have been circulating what they purport to be UNEB PLE papers. Some are labeled set 1, others are labeled set 2, and they're saying these are the papers that are going to be administered. Several such people have been arrested, and from different parts of the country, including Mubende, Kampala here, Mbarara and Mukono, and some of these have already been charged.
The board has also introduced random numbers to be used alongside students' personal numbers with the aim of hiding the schools to prevent compromise by examiners.
We will have 4 separate numbers. But of course, when the results are released, all this will have been interpreted back to the number, the school number which we know. This will be codes, so that the district name will also not appear on the candidates' scripts. These are measures that the board is introducing in order to ensure that the persons who will be marking are not under any pressure because they know a particular school or they know a particular district from.
Random numbers replace Education Management Information System numbers introduced last year. Briefing is tomorrow, Friday, November 1st. Candidates will start with mathematics and end with English on Tuesday next week. I'm Nafka Farida and Helen Barbara in Tinda.
Over to Parliament. Parliament has presented 7 key points of investigations that would solve Makerere University strikes. As of now, an amicable solution from the August House will be reached upon within 13 days as the Speaker instructs the Committee on Education Matters to take on this matter seriously. Still at Parliament, MPs have demanded government to produce Makerere University Guild President, who is believed to have been kidnapped by plainclothes and identified people. Government is yet to be clear on the matter as this single issue raises debate.
That direct the university management to rescind any suspensions of students and instead institute mechanisms to resolve the impasse at the university through civil and democratic means. 2, direct the Minister of Defense and the Minister of Internal Affairs to withdraw the military from the university and student hostels and direct the police to exercise restraint, observe human rights, and to protect the life of students and their property at the university.
Yes, I think our concern is the military being in the hostels. They can be outside on the road, but not in the hostels. No. Not get in the hostels, not breaking the door. Yes, they can be on the road. Much obliged, right, Honourable Speaker.
3, direct government will remedy to financing the university is established by all stakeholders.
Originally what I intended to do was to submit this to our Education Committee, give them up to the 13th of November to give us a position. They will identify the areas which need further action, but the ones like the Auditor General, those I will write immediately. Those which don't need to go to the committee, I will write immediately. And then maybe they can tell us whether, that committee can tell us where the Vice Chancellor should go. And so let's start with our committee and the report on the 13th. So is the motion seconded? Has the motion been seconded? Motion seconded.
Amendment.
The moment the students' leader, the guild president, is not produced, we would have not done anything. So let us instruct government to produce the guild leader, the guild president of Makerere University.
It's not true, as it was alleged yesterday, that was kidnapped. I have got information from his colleagues that is keeping away from the too much pressure she was being subjected to.
This morning, I hadn't told you, I was discussing with the president this morning that very issue about the young man. And said he's not sure whether he has been abducted, but that if he needs security, he should let us know and the president provides security. If he's hiding from some people or pressure, the president provides security. That's what he told me this morning. Yes.
Representatives of the students' body, they come to an agreement because these students are from very, very wanting families, Madam Speaker. And there is no way we shall say.
Well, there is need for a lasting solution to these strikes at Makerere University. Right now, we're going to go for a short break, but don't go away. We'll return with business. Stay with us.
Mommy, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Daddy, what's wrong?
I've had a long day, Angel, and I have a bad headache.
Oh, I'll give you something that will make you feel better if you promise to play with us.
Headache? Toothache. Unapoumwa, unataka kitulizo kwa haraka gani? Mara moja. Pain and Fever Reliever. A quality product from Beta Healthcare contains paracetamol, caffeine, and aspirin. Beta Healthcare. Caring for all. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
My first 4G smartphone from Airtel is back. It's bigger, better, and comes with 5 GB free data per month for 3 months. At only 200,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy fantastic features on the phone, like the face unlock feature, long battery life. Live your life in 4G with my first 4G smartphone at only 200,000 Uganda shillings and get free 5 GB data every month for 3 months. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, dial *175*9# to enjoy free data. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol, or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion, or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn, and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life. If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Hello, Uganda! We introduce to you the first and ever My Right to Play Christmas Kids Festival 2019. Let the kids feel the Christmas Eve on the 21st of December at the Legends Sports Ground in Lugogo. Entrance is 10,000 shillings only and parents free. Bring your child and have an opportunity to play, sing, dance and discover their talents. Mujetu ingira mazalibwa nga abato basanyusa bato bannaabwe. Mulete abaana bammwe banyumirwe, banywe, bazanye. Kino kigenda kubeera kijjabi. Proudly sponsored by Legends Sports Ground, UBC TV, Star TV, U24 TV, Star FM, Magic 100 FM, UBC Butebo, Marketing, UMC Victoria Hospital, and Ideas Workshop. Bw'oyagala omwana okuyimba kuba ku ssimu eno.
Inspirational moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church.
We shall trample over serpents and scorpions. You tread as you walk forward. You don't stay stationary. He's anointing on your feet. And you'll be like the two lepers. When they walk towards the camp of the enemy, their footsteps were like 5,000 men strong. That's why the Bible says whenever you step with your feet I've given to you, you shall have dominion, you shall not be dominion. You will take captive, you will not be taken captive. When I look at you, I don't want to see how the devil has been working in you, but I want to see how the Lord is working.
Welcome back. It's just 13 minutes past 8 o'clock. It's time for our interview corner. But before we get into that, let's first bring you this story where 3 people in Kasese district have been killed by a mudslide. The incident happened in Namhuga South in Bulembia division in Kasese municipality after the midnight rains exerted pressure on the natural environmental, and that made it trigger the mudslide.
In the last 3 ending months of October, November and December, the Meteorological Department announced consistent rains and warned the public to be careful. In Kasese district, the midnight rain moved a mass of earth with rock and debris due to mass wasting causing direct influence of gravity removal. The mudslide killed 3 pupils who were sleeping. Only 1 child survived. The deceased have been identified as Mumbere Derek of 3 years, Mumbere Wesley 10 years, and Masereka Sunday of 10 years, all pupils of Katiri Primary School in Bulembia Division.
We are mounted people, and those are hazards which we have lived with for a long time. But obviously, when such hazards lead to death, they are totally regrettable. But we shall stay in the Rwenzori. We have nowhere to go. The first, I think, in around 7 years, within the municipality.
An eyewitness, Morocco Ronald, who rescued one child, narrated that he heard a child crying inside the house, which prompted him to come closer.
Enyuma ekisanga namanga kahika okwa umui okwa sibukiri njenga neighbor namasangana omwana namurekira mu nyumba erilebya engongo yamaveritwika yamavihimatira abono mu nyumba.
Kasese Municipality Mayor Godfrey Kabyanga said the landslide hit the side of the house where the children were sleeping, leaving 3 children out of 4 confirmed dead, and the one who saved were rushed to hospital.
So it rained very heavily yesterday. So when it comes to around 3 a.m. towards morning, there was a landslide happened and fallen on the wall. There were 4 children in the room, and unfortunately 3 of them are dead. 3 of them are dead, 2 boys and 1 girl.
Tubasaside nnyo n'ebize bye mwafunye. Of course naffe wetufunyide obutumwa buno tubadde nga tukyamye kikutaasa obulamu. Kubanga ekintu kyabaddeko saa 6 z'ekiro. Tekifunye kuno ku makya kuno. Naye tubasaside nnyo ku bizibu bye mufunye. Naye naffe tuli namwe mu busaasi.
2 weeks ago, children perished also in a house in Mahango sub-county in a similar incident. Mutonyi Helder, UBC.
Our condolences go to the bereaved family. Well, thank you so much for keeping it UBC TV and News Tonight in particular. As I told you during the introduction, that we will be having an engagement with a weather analyst. He's none other than Nsubuga Yusuf. He joins us all the way from Uganda National Meteorological Authority, and he's here to discuss issues pertaining the current situation of the weather across the country. And I think the weather is not just changing, or we can say the climatic changes are not just affecting Uganda in particular, but I think it's a global issue. Welcome on set.
Thank you.
Well, tell us the current situation of weather within the country.
First of all, as you have said, Nsubuga Yusuf from Uganda National Meteorological Authority, the authority that is responsible for giving weather information to the country, and also the countries around might need to know what is happening within the country. Currently we are having this weather condition, as you have seen, and really what is happening is that this weather condition we are predicted in the seasonal forecast, that is from September, October, November, December. But when you look at the forecast, which is September, October, November, December, is a long-term forecast, okay? So we as an organization still had to break down this forecast, usually give a monthly forecast for each of the months, so that we are able to communicate very well, you know, which during this month, for example, October, what are we expecting? But it's still a month is very big for everybody, so also go ahead and break the month into 10 days, okay? So we usually give a 10-day forecast as well, but still 10 days might be big for other people. So what happened is that still also give some forecasts, like recently we gave a forecast for 5 days, looking at what is happening. People, we are wondering, we are seeing this kind of rains, what is going on, what are we going to do?
But when we talk about forecast, then were we giving it a particular percentage? You have to leave us a slight percentage if you're mentioning the word forecast.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so was it 50-50 or it's something like 80?
It is actually 80
80-20?
No, it is 80 to 85%.
80. Okay, so just the previous story that left us, the Kasese story, you can see the mudslide.
Yes.
This is a bit something new in Kasese. We know this in Bududa and all these other areas. But what particular climatic change has caused this?
Yeah, first of all, to explain to you this current weather which is happening is that this weather is expected. But because there is always some enhancement in the kind of the weather you are seeing. This kind of weather that we are seeing, especially the areas of Kasese, it is being influenced by moist winds from Congo forests. We have Congo forests, which are forests within the equatorial region. And these equatorial regions, these forests within the equatorial region, they have rains that has been penetrating towards the mountain range, Rwenzori ranges. And also, the same is happening even in Kigezi Highlands. Okay. Now, when it comes to areas of Bulambuli, that's Mount Elgon region. Still, they are also having the rains. But what is bringing those rains in those regions is that we are having moist winds from actually Indian Ocean. Okay. And what we should also know is that during this time of the year, we are within the rain belt. We have what we call the rain belt over our country. Okay. Yeah, because and even as it was predicted in the seasonal forecast that during the months of October, November, we shall be expecting the peaks of the rains. Okay.
The heavy rains.
The heavy rains. So we as an organization, when we give this kind of forecast, we don't just see
I think you can see, like you see on the screen, the floods are all over. Yeah, yes. This is basically the situation that transpired there in Kasese. Yes. Now, when you talk about this is the season, you say September and October is the season of the rain belt, but we're having October ending. Yes. We're getting into November. Do we still have the same anticipation?
Yes, we are still having the rains ongoing.
Heavy now, or heavy?
What is happening is that because whenever what happens is that we always have the apparent movement of the sun. So when the sun is moving from the northern hemisphere towards the southern hemisphere, it always moves with the rain belt. Okay? So what is happening now is that as the sun is moving in the southern hemisphere, it actually overhead the tropical, the equator around 23rd of September. So it is still within Uganda. As it moves towards the southern hemisphere, we still continue having the rains. And areas like within the southern part of the country, we expect to have more rains as compared.
So how long is this rain belt going to last? Till January, or we
as rains to continue as far as the December, early to even Christmas time, expect the rain to continue, but more expect them to be within.
Now, considering that the cool temperatures in the Rwenzori region, sometimes you do receive a bit of snow.
Yes.
Do you think because of the climatic change, the snow could increase?
Of course. Whenever the sun is near us, what happens is that it accelerates the melting of the ice as well. So because of the having this kind of temperature rise, so as it rains and also the melting of the ice can do attribute to the kind of flooding as well.
Okay, now a climatic change like this, which is currently happening within our country, does affect a lot of people. But in particular, I'm concerned about the road users and at the same time the farmers. What kind of advice would you give these people?
Yeah, when you look at the road users, they should always listen to the forecasts given on radios, on UBC. Like what I'd forgotten is that we even downscale this forecast for every 6 hours as an organization.
From 10 days?
No, from 10 days, 5 days, even 1 day, like what you gave on UBC TV, that is a 1 day forecast, but also downscale to 6 hours. Like there's a forecast which is already ongoing now. Like areas of West Nile, they are having rain. We expect rain this evening, and beyond Kampala, expect some rain as well. So when you look at the forecast, it is given. Okay, so for those who are using the road users, they should listen to this forecast as they are moving wherever they are going. They should be listening. They tune to the radio and hear what is happening, what is being given. so that they are able to know where they are going. Because where they might be going, the roads might be bad.
But you don't have all this focused in all the media channels. It's just UBC probably and a couple of radio stations. Actually, all UBC radio stations.
Yeah.
Yes, but other private stations have not seen the weather forecast.
What is happening is that we, as an organization, we have incorporated. We are working with the media group as well.
Okay.
And these forecasts are given by email and also WhatsApp.
So it's up to them to use them.
Yes, to use them. We sign a memorandum of understanding. We as
okay, we wouldn't want to go there. Now let's talk about the farmers, because agriculture is the backbone of our economy.
Yeah.
So I want to understand, how are the farmers? What should the farmers do in a situation like this?
Of course, farmers who are in hilly areas, they are advised to use terracing method of farming, because it prevents the taking of the soil. Okay, the water will be able to use the given channels and be able to flow accordingly. And those who are staying in the valleys are not advised to do the planting, because the water will always be collected within the valleys. So they are not advised to grow crops like the tubers, because they will not be able to actually do well because of too much rains.
Okay, so when you say tubers, because we have farmers who are dealing in different things, like maybe vegetables and all these other things. This is a commercial kind of, farming for them.
Yes.
So if you limit them and say you need to plant this in a season like this and then leave this out, but then what they usually plant is what is on demand.
Yeah, of course, it depends. Like we have even do some urban farming as well.
Okay.
Those who are doing urban farming, they can continue doing the vegetation, the vegetables and so on. But what is happening is that those who are going to carry out to maybe massive farming on vegetables, they just only advise them maybe to do some rain harvesting. Then they wait for at least towards the dry season, and they do that.
Do you think that the mudslides that just started within Kasese, could it be a threat? Should there be evacuations in any time soon, or it's just going to be the norm?
Of course, yeah.
Like what happened in Bududa. A lot of people were evacuated to leave those locations. The very location where the mudslides happened. Don't you think that it's a risky area for people to leave?
It is of course a risky area.
They should evacuate.
They should evacuate and then wait for condition to normalize.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, something else.
Yes.
Any impact of this particular viability of weather?
Of course, the impact is that as a country, we shall be losing a lot, because, as you said, this year we depend on agriculture. And if there is a reduction in production, what will happen is that really we shall be affected in terms of production. So of course, we have also to make investments in other areas as well. But of course, I wanted also to mention this, I don't know whether I will be given time, is that as an organization, we are also mandated to give weather information to the airlines, okay? We are happy as the Uganda National Meteorological Authority that now currently we are having our own airline, and through us.
Isn't that an advertisement?
No,
you're looking for a client, right?
No, I'm not looking for a client, but because our own and as a country.
Nsubuga Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us.
That
is none other than Nsubuga Yusuf, and some of the issues that have really caused the climatic change within our country is the fact that we are within the rain belt, as he explained. He is from Uganda National Meteorological Authority, and he's one of the weather analysts. Right now, we're going to wind up our news tonight at 8. Our next bulletin will be coming your way at 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma. Mogalu Mohammed has been on sign language. We will leave you with our weather forecast.
Hello, good evening. I'm glad you're joining us for today's weather report. I'm Alitwera Juliet from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Today in the morning, most parts of the country have had cloudy and rainy conditions. Later in the afternoon, the southern sector and the western sector of the country had thunder showers. And the rainfall report received by 9 a.m. this morning, it is indicating Masindi with the highest of 35.8 millimeters, Masaka 21.5, Toro 20.1, whereas Kampala reported 10.7 millimeters. And this is attributed to what we are seeing on our satellite image, that there is a low pressure zone over South Africa, which is pulling the rain belt southwards and covering most parts of our country, leading to these wet activities. For tomorrow morning, we are expecting light rains for areas around Lake Victoria Basin, some parts in west and the eastern region. Elsewhere, we shall have sunny intervals. In the afternoon, we expect wet weather pickup, thunder showers for western region. Elsewhere, rains are still expected. The maximum temperatures will rise up to 27 degrees centigrade for most parts of the country, 28 for eastern region, and for southwestern Uganda, we are expecting them to go up to 23 degrees centigrade. And if you intend to go beyond Uganda, we are expecting thunder showers in Mumbai at a maximum of 35 degrees centigrade. Rains for Nairobi and Madrid, whereas sunny conditions are anticipated for Dubai and Vienna at a maximum of 37 in Dubai. Thank you for keeping us company. Have a blessed night.